Hello and welcome to this market update video. I'm Marcel, Head of Proprietary Pricing, and today I'm looking forward to talking to you about plant-based proteins. Now, it's one of these areas that I think has been underappreciated, certainly by the pricing world, for quite a long time, which is why I'm so excited that we've got some price for this to share with you, to actually talk to you about the market dynamics. Now, if you look at the graph behind me here, you can see the soya protein prices, in particular isolate and concentrates. Now, you can see obviously the two of them somewhat move in tandem because obviously the concentrate is the first stage and then you move it up to the isolate part. But you can see the spread narrowing a little bit there. But let's first look at how the prices have been moving over the last year. You can initially see prices for soya proteins coming off a little bit. Now, one of the main reasons for this is that the pea proteins have started to eat into the market share for soya. Now, many of you will know that on the soya world, there's a lot of people that are somewhat allergic to soya, that don't really enjoy using soya products. Pea has been this alternative for this. So as obviously development increased in these products, and we've been managing to kind of get more and more pea products out in there. In particular in America, we know that some of the big burger brands are using pea proteins as their base products. Now, obviously you can see then as you're going from like 10 to 11% maybe market share for the pea side, it's eating away a little bit on the soya side. Now, that has had an impact on the price for soya proteins. That's what you're really seeing between March and June, July, really. That's where it's coming off. And now, if I put next to this the price for pea proteins, now again you can see the concentrate and the isolate price here, you can see the matching opposite effect. Prices are increasing as demand really continues to tick up for pea proteins. Now, that's all well and good. Obviously, there's a lot more that I'd like to talk to you about on the why this has been happening, but reach out to me on this. Now, I want to really focus back on the soya protein price and want to look with you at this part where the soya protein price have really started to tick up at the end of August, which we can see in that September price point, moving of course now into October, where we are currently hearing that prices are looking in a similar direction. Of course, we need to wait till the end of the month until we've got finalized prices here, but let's evaluate this price impact a little bit further. Now, to look at soya proteins, we need to obviously evaluate what's the input product, just like with pea protein, when it's pea, and the soy protein is soyas, of course. Now, the soya price has really been shooting up since the end of August. Now, I'm putting up the CBOT price here behind me for soybeans, and you can see there that it's at end of August point where you can see price to start really ticking up. Why has that been? And I think there's 5 key facts for why this has been happening. Now, one, of course, is higher demand from China. As China's managed to overcome the swine fever, really, and rebuilding their swine herds, you obviously need more feed products. So for that, they're importing more and more US soya. That's one of the demand factors. Another factor is relatively weak US dollar. So obviously that increases demand as well. Now, we need to then look into obviously the whole corona machine that we've been seeing shut a lot of processing facilities at the beginning of the year, which have started to reopen, and hence, of course, demand is picking up again. That's our third factor here. Now, some of the other areas we need to look at is weather. It's been a very, very warm spell in the US Midwest, where lots of the soybeans are being planted and harvested. That was our fourth factor. And then fifth, finally, we've got freight. Now, freight is being priced into the higher price. Obviously, you've got some of the shipping, especially into China, that has been dropping a little bit, so hence we've got prices picking up there as well. So you've got some key factors why the soya price actually is picking up. Now, as you can see in some of our graphs and other videos, how soya proteins are being made, you obviously know that one of the large cost inputs into the soya protein is the input price. So with that picking up, you can now hopefully understand why soya protein prices have been picking up as well. Now, let's flip this a little bit. Let's go back to our pea protein price. You can see actually that they've been coming off at the end of September towards that August-September stretch. Why is that? But obviously this is somewhat unrelated to the soya price. Obviously, as I've just mentioned to you, the underlying soya price can't really impact pea as much. But there is substitution, guys. So that's one of the parts we need to figure out. Right? Whilst there's the whole energy part behind it, as a product becomes cheaper, demand increases. But there's one other key area to this on the pea side, and that's where we need to look at supply. We've been seeing a lot of scheduled production facilities for pea coming online at the end of this year. Now, whilst they have been pushed into 2021, the market is now starting to price this extra supply that's coming onto the market online. Now, of course, contracts certainly in a market which is as opaque as the plant-based protein market are done and the majority on long-term contracts. So with that starting to be priced in, people are okay, have priced it in for now. Next cycle is in 2021, so you can really see that starting to come through onto the pea prices. Now obviously I'm more than happy to talk to you more about our prices here, soya and pea in particular, but if you want to talk to me about any of the other plant-based proteins, please just reach out to me. Obviously you can see on the screen here, pricing at Mintec Global is one of the ways to get in touch with me, but until next time I'm looking forward to talking to you more.